Welcome to the Zen and the Art of the Shampoo podcast. I'm your host, Kim Jones. So happy that you're here. Welcome to another episode of Zen and the Art of the Shampoo podcast. I'm so happy that you are joining us. So grateful for the listeners. Today, I am joined by a hilarious human being, someone I've known for a very long time, my best friend from high school. She's a celebrity makeup artist and hairstylist and founder of Natural by Sabs. I'm going to let her introduce herself because she can do it so much better than I can. Sabrina, take it away.
Hello, Kimberly. I'm Sabrina Rowe Holdsworth, and we're old friends. And I fancy myself a celebrity hairstylist, and I am the founder of a clean beauty brand called Natural by Sabs, which I founded, in 2020.
You founded this business in the middle of one of the worst times in our
Lives that we've lived. Yes. Yeah. Global pandemic, probably not the best time to start a business.
Or maybe it's the best time because
I've heard it goes both ways. I've heard uh, from entrepreneurs who make careers in teaching other entrepreneurs and Gary Vee and people like that who say, you know what, there is no bad time to start a business. And I would beg to differ, but my experience has been an interesting one. I think being an entrepreneur, regardless of when, where, or how you started, is going to be difficult. I will say, someone who is a workaholic, having that downtime during the strict quarantine was the reason why I felt I could actually take it on and really set it up so that I could launch by the end of the year of 2020. So I just actually took fear and turned that into motivation to start that business. She's a gift and a curse. I love it, but I have even less time now. So I think when I was dreaming her up many years ago, I thought I'd be in my 50s and I'd be sitting on coins and have investors and all that good stuff. I didn't see myself in the middle of a global pandemic, unable to touch people, and starting a retail business out of fear that I couldn't touch people again. So a little bit different, but I actually am very, very grateful that I took on this endeavor. And I've learned so much, and I'm constantly learning.
I know a lot of people that are interested in starting a line, and I think that you are a wealth of information. For those who don't know you.
Fair. I am a born and bred New Yorker. I grew up in the South Bronx. My parents are from Puerto Rico and Panama, so I'm first gen stateside. We are Afro-Latino, so basically just means I'm brown, but we speak Spanish. And my mom is light skinned, so people would always ask me, is that your real mom? Super ignorance in the 80s. But I have a loving family who still lives here. I'm married to a lovely man named Joe Holdsworth. We have a dog. And I've been working in beauty for 22 years now. I know that's when I feel old. I'm like, 22 years.
I know.
16.
Seriously. I'm like, why do you want to know when I started? Why?
I know that just ages you straight away. Yeah.
How do you see yourself in 5 years? That's a good way to start.
Where do I see myself in 5 years? Me, hopefully still alive under a Democratic president and like a real one. Yeah. All the shade you guys are getting. And hopefully in 5 years, natural is a recognizable name. It would be really cool if we had some bigger retailers, and more brick and mortar. It'd be super cool to have like a natural store, uh,
Mm.
but having really strong retail partnerships, that would be amazing. That's the real goal for the 5-year mark for natural.
Love it. Have you written down these goals?
Yes, I have scribbles everywhere, and then I have a stream of consciousness note that I have in my iPhone via iCloud so that I can, you know, basically I kept a diary when I was young, and then you abandon it as you get older. And I have really wonderful therapy, so I started writing again, and it is one of my favorite things. And I put everything there, so
So
life
it's
goals all mashed up. Yeah, written.
okay, okay. I didn't know if it was like a voice note that you like listen to.
Uh, my therapist actually said voice notes if you don't feel like, because I actually am someone who suffers from uh, depression and anxiety. Uh, and when you have those things, there are times where you literally don't have the energy to write, to type,
Yeah.
to get out of bed. And she recommended that in those moments to utilize technology and um, leave yourself a voice note. And I have only done it once, and it's interesting because I know what I sound like, in my head. Hear your own voice, and certainly the subtext of your voice in a moment, it kind of took me out of what I was feeling, because I'm not someone who likes to feel sorry for myself. And so hearing myself so sad made me get up. Like, this is not it. Your
Powerful
mind is lying. Yeah.
also to hear yourself speaking to yourself.
Yeah. I would like to try to do it more. I think it's a good practice
Have you
because it
ever
makes
done
me
it now
uncomfortable.
where you like hold yourself, like you hold yourself in your hands and like talk to yourself like your inner child? It's so crazy.
No, I've done the talking to myself in the mirror, not the touching, even though it was recommended. I was like, yeah, be one day. I'm definitely, no,
Existing.
I'm so quirky, and I can't help but make
Laugh
fun
at
of
yourself.
myself. Exactly.
Look yourself
So,
like
yeah, and like it would not be serious for very
yes.
long. I'd be like, really, queen, pull your life together for
Oh,
real.
okay. So to expound off of that 5 years, what about 10 years?
10
Are you
years. Oh my gosh. I don't even really need to be a millionaire. That's so silly. I just would like, in 10 years, it'd be really cool to have investment partners.
love it.
Um, I would love for Natural to be retailing worldwide. And actually, I'd love to be writing um, in 10 years. It'd be really cool for me to, whether I self publish or not, like everybody isn't, don't have to make money at everything I do, but I love to write. And it'd be
Right.
really cool to uh, start a novel. I've started one, and you do the thing. I think everybody has a book in them.
Absolutely.
I think everybody does. It's just the difference between working writers and the rest of us is that they actually get the work done.
Yeah.
So I would love in 10 years to actually be working on it, and natural being my only uh, job in beauty, like retiring from doing hair and makeup. Sorry, guys.
We're
She wants it
planning.
out. Uh,
Get
yeah,
it.
no, I absolutely loved this career and what life that it's afforded me, and being able to see the world and work with all different kinds of people. Uh, Service is my love language. Acts of service is my jam. But I'd love to pivot and really just go hardcore CEO, creative direction, just overseeing my company.
I love that. A lot of people don't know what their pivot is, especially in the beauty industry. And I
Oh,
see,
it's
I
so
love
hard.
that a lot of people are talking about it now because let's be real, it's grueling to be
Yeah,
on your feet all day. It is
it's
grueling
horrible for your
to,
body.
and your psyche
Mhm.
deal, especially if you're an empath and you take in all that
That's it.
energy that people are giving out. And even if you aren't an empath, like it's still an energy exchange when you're around
This
someone
says,
physically and mentally. And people think we're therapists, and it's like, I can
"Well,
give
I'd
you
make more."
can give you advice. I don't know if I would take my advice though. So
I
that
know.
I always say that. I'm like, I can give you great advice, but I'm not qualified. So have at it. You can have it all. Have it all. I'm kidding. I give great advice.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Not a
if you are
therapist.
qualified, yeah, it's like it would just be a couple of classes you didn't take in college. You know what I mean? And then, like, boards.
I took all the
Um,
classes in college.
exactly,
That's oh,
actually yeah, I could have easily been a therapist, I think. Just
and
we're all crazy.
I know, I
We
know,
are all crazy. But I mean, yeah, what a cool way to earn a living,
right? It's
helping.
like we wear all the hats. That's what's so fascinating about this career. I never realized that until, and a lot of people don't realize that, but if they're not in the industry,
No.
what it actually entails.
Yes. And I think also it's how you've applied yourself to running your businesses and being a stylist yourself. You
That's
are not a fair weather stylist. We've hired them. I've hired them. We've worked around them. There are people that truly don't connect. They come
that's
in, get a check and bounce. And like, oh no, they might have it right. I just can't, like, man, I know
what.
so many people that, you know,
No, I don't. I because those people are not the ones that are actually having people who like check for them even when they move away. Like they don't have the loyal clientele
yeah, yeah,
following. They're not. And I say that like when, especially when I'm looking for staff, uh, I want people that want to that take it to the
build.
next and are
Yeah,
not like, oh yeah, yeah, like the consultation alone. Like if you're that kind of where it's like, "Oh, yeah, I come in for a check," like, and immediately the energy, the way they carry themselves are different, and people will pick up on that, and they don't that those are not the people that get the repeat clientele,
yeah,
and that's the truth. That's a blanket statement, but for the most part, it's not.
yeah.
But
People are typically looking to connect.
absolutely. I mean, isn't that all we want, even in this day and age of technology? It's like we thought that it would help us connect more,
I
but
mean,
it's
it does and doesn't. It's
definitely
just
doesn't.
different. Yeah, it does in that,
But it's instant connection and not so much a deep connection, and that again,
precisely.
blankets
It's
anything.
more surface than deep,
And
which,
when it and that connection that sometimes is just so volatile and not
well, there's a lot less consequence when you're not physically in the presence of people.
absolute.
You can present, and there's so many examples of this. All you have to do is scroll on Instagram. People present so well on camera, and then
Mm,
you meet them and they're like, duh. As someone who has,
that's what
worked with
for it.
talent for so many years, um, you know, people expect so much out of like actors and
Mm,
actresses and
mhm.
singers and dancers and yes, some of them are the full package, but a lot of, I would say, more often than not, actors are quite shy and socially, you know, not as colorful as you would want them to be because they're not their damn characters. That's why they're good at their job. It's a job. I think human beings, we want everything out of
Absolutely.
someone. And unfortunately, our creative community, they get the worst of it.
Uh, Duds is one of my favorite words. Absolutely. Um, and I don't know if I knew it from milk duds, but I had a milk dud the other day.
Oh,
I've
well,
never had one. Do you know what they are?
of course. The
Living
movie, when you're at the movies,
under a rock. I ate it. I was like, milk duds. I love that word duds. Let me sample it. Disgusting. I spit
I used to,
caramel. I think it's
yes,
just
chocolate
caramel.
chocolate
with
caramel.
chocolate. And I was
Yes, like
this, no.
processed
Yeah,
sugar
like
bowl.
sugar daddy. Like,
It's a processed sugar bowl for you to get hopped up on while watching a movie.
and if your teeth, it's no.
Oh, it
Okay.
gets stuck in your
Well, I like
teeth.
this,
I
but
think Milk Duds is single-handedly were responsible for many a rich dentist
oh,
because they will pull your whole filling out. Uh,
okay.
and the only reason why I know that is because it happened to people with me.
I threw it.
Because I didn't have cavities till I was in my 30s. And
I have yet to have one.
that's amazing.
Yeah.
I clearly drink more wine than you. I was so upset. I
That's
told the
not
dentist, I'm like, it's my
that's
first
not true.
cavity. And he's like, you're almost 40. That's like a big, you should be proud of yourself. Also,
You
do
think
you
they were
drink?
wine?
Yeah. Sugar, all of it, booze. Because I was like, I don't need sweets. He's like, do you drink? And I was like, very much. Yes,
Mhm.
sir, very much. Thank you. Do you have
Are
something?
you offering?
I know. I'm like, I prefer drink. Let me just rinse real quick. But yeah, he's like, booze will do it.
Wow.
You know,
What's your biggest achievement in the industry thus far? What if you could look back? That's a tough question. I know, to put you
it
on the spot.
is. But I'll give you the
What on
funny
some
answer. The
what?
funny answer is my biggest
Oh,
achievement in the industry thus
dang
far
it.
is not smacking a bitch. I'm sorry. No, but real talk for
Yes.
listening that actually work in the industry or know someone who does, dealing with people who are told all day how great they are is not good for anyone. Not
Mm-mm.
to mention the people surrounding those people it tends to rub off. So there's this entitlement and self-importance that exists in the business that is my absolute least favorite part of the business. It's so silly. We just have cool jobs. Like, just call it what it is. We have cool jobs. We're lucky to get these jobs, and that's what it is. And I'm from a trap where you say how you feel. If somebody doesn't like you, they will tell you to your face, I don't like you. I learned passive aggression at work and I still hate it. 22 years. Still
Mm.
hate it. I'd rather you say I don't like it than you say "I- it's great. But can we no, just say what you mean. Um, I have been tested. There's an incredible amount of racism that still
Mhm.
exists in the business. People like it's gotten so much better. I'm like, sure, not really. It's just that we're allowed to say, and now I use the words that younger generation has sort of made hot terms
Yep.
against these people. I love to tell people they're being passive aggressive. Because as a Black woman who has a big voice, and I'm only 5'2", y'all, I'm a little guy. Um, I I'm considered scary to people, which is only because I'm Black, and, that's really unfortunate, and when I was younger, I was bullied a lot and just thought it was part of, earning your keep and earning your stripes, and I'd have, like, white gay male friends or white male friends who literally never experienced a, speck of it, and, yeah, I had to have some colleagues saying, "That's actually never been my experience, and it sounds really crazy. Um, maybe you should say something." And when you do, you lose jobs, people don't call you back, and it's not about actually being qualified for the job, because if that was the case, I would never lose a job, um, or a relationship. It's just people it's still a, popularity contest. So I would say, yeah, achieving not busting somebody in their face, considering where I come from and the shit I've had to hear,
Mhm.
is certainly my biggest achievement because I am not someone who likes to treat people poorly or be treated poorly. I just think it's so whack and it's
It's
it
crazy that in this
requires no
industry,
effort, no
yeah,
brain,
but
you
some
know.
people love to do it. Like
I
they
know, no,
just
and but for me, that says everything. It's like, you're not smart. You're not smart because if you were, you'd understand that is low-hanging fruit. And there's
no energy.
It kills me. It just drains me dealing with negative energy.
That's why I don't know how I don't know how you do it. And I've said that from the
I know
beginning.
you've said it to me a million times, and I'm like, girl, I don't either.
I know you. I know
don't either.
many did like a different trajectory in the same industry, and I remember like being on shoots with you, celebrity stuff, but
No, it's everywhere. The celebrity stuff is like not even. It's all
even just like
Ashley's worse.
fashion. Yeah,
Ashley's worse.
and I did that
You
once.
got to see it. You saw it.
This is not for me. I
Yeah.
remember going, "Oh yeah, I want to be an editorial stylist," and I remember I assisted some. I don't even remember the show so long ago. In the beginning of my career in Fashion Week, and I was like, "Oh, I don't want
Yeah.
this. I don't.
It's
Not for
You,
me."
you
And I
have to.
don't understand the stories that you've told me. I don't understand.
Yeah, it's
The
wild.
the thick layer of skin that you have to have is just
Yeah.
upsetting, especially as a brown person, especially as a brown woman. It's just
Yeah.
it's
It's
fucked up.
wild.
It's
It's
fucked
so
up.
wild.
Same thing with like with me. Like I remember the salon, and I remember having a stylist that sat in the chair. Not that the chairs look like you would get any indication of who the owner is if you didn't know how the chairs are set up. And I just always remember everyone always going up to Jamie and
Well,
asking
right.
if she was oh, are you the owner?
Because
Why
she's
would
white, of course.
yeah, why would you think that? Like, why would
Right.
you? Jamie would even be like, no, it's her. And people would
I
be like, and they'd have a quick second of like recovery to be like,
Oh
oh,
yeah.
and it's like,
Yeah.
yeah, this is my shop. How
I
can
mean,
you?
it happened up until we all had to have like a portrait on our websites for so many times. I can't even count how many times I went to a job, they booked me for my book, um, which for those of you that don't know what that is, it's a portfolio that used to be actually a tangible book that was super heavy with pictures in it, sheets for magazines, high res printouts of stories you did, and they book you from that. And I'd have assistants who were white, and always they'd ask female white assistant if they were Sabrina.
And it's just, it's like little, what makes me mad is that we call them microaggression.
And they're not micro. How's that micro? You've
It's
literally minimized my existence. How's that micro? It's
absolutely
so
like,
weird.
actually, that's my assistant.
Right.
Actually, that's my employee. Like,
Yeah. Yeah. And it's also, it's really unfortunate because I love working with people and the whole assistant thing. I was an assistant for many years and worked with the best of the best, and it would treat us like garbage. And then some people were better than others. And I always, not always, let me correct myself. At first, I had that same attitude of like, you've got to earn it. And then I realized actually, treating people the way I was treated makes me feel bad about myself. So I'm not going to do that. So let's try me partnering with my assistants. So that's sort of the energy that I like to bring those relationships, because they're there to help me and to learn.
the more that you teach, the more you learn. The more that you get,
precisely. And I learn from my assistants all the time. And so when clients come over and they're like, doing the introductions, I'm like, this person is working with me. I don't even usually say assistant. They will say it. I don't say it because I don't like the idea of minimizing someone because they are helping me on a job.
You know what?
It's weird.
I don't think assistant is a bad thing. And I think that we take
No, I don't think it's a bad thing. I think though in the business,
yes, absolutely.
become like a word that people like to use to minimize someone's ability. And I know it's not true. I'm like, especially as I try as much as possible to always have Black and brown assistants. Sorry, I got to take care of my people, really, because I know what it feels like. I really, really try to build them up and not present them as less than in any way. Because a lot of the time it's just, we have no help. We don't have a friend in the business. We have no help. So
I'm super grateful though to the mentors that I have had in my
Same.
that I
Same.
still have so much
Me,
love for. And
same. Even the mean ones.
they're very, very.
Really so
No, I'm
much.
talking about the not mean ones that really. Maybe one of them was a little not mean. No, it's just I love you, Scott. But he would be, you keep in your place. He'd be like, listen, but it was like a fun mean. Not he was not mean. It's just snarky, and I love snarky. I appreciate
Yeah. No. I
that. No, it wasn't bad. I hope, Scott, you were not snarky in a bad way.
like snarky,
Like, see,
us. But right, in a work situation, I'm like, just tell me what you need. But that's also because I'm tired as hell now. So I have such
little
a smaller
piece.
bandwidth.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
had all the energy for whatever people had to throw at me before.
How do you think mindset played a role in your decision to take the first step? Okay, better yet, what was your mindset when you started?
Fear, scared, so scared.
What?
I was so scared. I thought I wouldn't be able to touch people, and I had no means of a passive income. And while I do think that I'm a really intelligent person that has a lot of great skills, when you've worked in a creative field as long as I have, and we so very rarely have, need, or use resumes, I was terrified at the thought of trying to re-enter the workforce in a different way, even though so many people who have multiple degrees that I would dance circles around. When you're selling yourself via piece of paper, it would be quite difficult. It scared me. I'm like, how do I explain that I'm, brilliant? And there's a no humble brag there. I do believe I'm a brilliant person.
You don't have to. I hate that humble
Like
brag.
humble, that's why, I was like, I don't think
Need to
humble
have that
brag.
confidence.
And again, it's because we're women more than anything. If a man says, I'm really smart, nobody even bats their eyes at that. If a woman gives herself a compliment in any way,
Yep.
we perceive it as conceited, even as like overly confident. Confidence is just confidence. I am someone who struggles with everything, but I know that I'm smart. I I it's a practice. It's like I know it's a fact. I can learn anything, and I've done the legwork. So, a couple of years ago, I promised myself to not say humble brag or humbly minimize when I'm giving myself a compliment, especially to someone else, because I notice it the most in women. Women do it. Women do it. It's not something that I hear from successful men ever.
Yes. Yep. I just did it in an interview. And I was giving myself props about how I'm really good at what I do. I have people who, when they move away, they still come.
Oh yeah, they travel, girl. They come back. Yeah.
And then I kind of minimized it. And then it was funny. I was talking later on in the interview, and I was like, why did I do that? And I was like,
because we're conditioned to.
And she was like, oh my God, that's so funny that you caught that, because we were talking about like mindfulness and all that stuff.
Mhm.
And she goes, yeah. And she put it in a great way, which the reason why I'm doing this podcast. If you're not your own biggest cheerleader, then who the fuck is going to be?
No, nobody. Exactly.
Allowing yourself to shine your light and be unapologetic about it gives permission, and it opens the container and the possibility for others to do the same. So it's inspiration.
Right.
And she said that like in so many words. And I was like, oh, that is huge. So when you say something like that, it's like, oh, sure. That makes it something possible that a young brown
Precisely.
girl is going to hear and say, that's what's possible for me. And that to me is.
Yeah. That, I mean, you pretty much, that's exactly why I do it, because I didn't have, I worked a lot with men. There was one artist in particular who kept it so real with me. And he was amazing. I learned a ton from him. I'm not going to name him, but he kept it so real with me. He's like, you could be at the top of the top, but it will be really hard because you are a Black woman. And I really wish that wasn't the case. But because if you were a man, there'd be no stopping you. And, I was like, I just actually really appreciated that he kept it so real.
You know what?
it-
Prove him wrong, because
that
getting
exactly,
that belief.
like what he was saying was like, true. It was true, to some degree, but then also I used that to fuel me, to seeing like how far I could take this thing, and also, allowing myself to pivot in what that means. Because for him, he meant specifically as an editorial stylist, like getting to like top of the fashion and advertising world and like getting all the A-list celebrities. Well, you have the ability and the personality. And then I realized that's actually not what I want. At that time, I thought that's what I wanted. I'm like, that isn't what I want, because I am still always going to be in this body and have the same personality that I have. And sometimes in these spaces, the higher up you go, the more stress that exists there, because it's all people. People make it that
Yeah.
way. And I am such an empath. I can't just ignore when someone doesn't feel good or I don't feel good. And I actually love that about myself now. I used to think it was a problem that I had to learn how to fix. And now I appreciate that I'm an empath. I really live in the world and I care about the world. So
The more that you take your feelings and you feel something, feel it that way again.
precisely. In that I definitely am I am living my dream, regardless of like how much money I have or whatever. I'm living my dream in that I am an artist who makes money making art. And
That's it. Because even if you had $1 billion, if you had a shitty mindset about like that is the living the dream. The living the dream is not the money. It's the
that's not it at all.
feeling.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
love that you turned that fear during the pandemic into something like that. Like
Right.
that you took that negative and made it
Right.
up.
So no, and I'm self-funded, which for those of you who want to start a business, probably don't do that. Any like successful white person will tell you, like, start a business with somebody else's money. And I'm like, okay, so as a Black woman, that's just not reality. Like, they're not throwing coins at my Black ass. Okay. Now there are grants and whatnot trying to support female-run businesses, et cetera, et cetera. They're really hard to get. They're highly competitive. And I'm not competitive, y'all, at all, which is a lot of people who know me say art. I just I don't get that impression because I'm full on and I don't like the word intense. I'm just like really myself. And that's not in, yeah, I'm just like really here. And I make no apologies about it anymore. And, so I this with my own coins because I didn't want to have to answer to anyone about why I chose to do this. If something isn't selling, abandon it. I essentially, this is still the world's longest beta trial. This has been much longer, but for me, I'm trying to figure out who my customer is, how I can scale this business. And because they are unique formulations to the brand, which I studied to be able to do, a lot harder because I have feelings towards every product. It's not just, a drop ship situation where I throw my name on it and sell it. That's way easier. So if you're thinking about starting a product business, probably don't formulate yourself. There are labs that are way better.
Oh, no. No.
Uh, no,
I
no,
love
no. Honestly,
you're
I say
clutching
that
rose
because
oil?
well, thank you. But right now, okay, so great example. So I carry a nourishing rose oil that Kim is talking about. It's super simple. There's only a few ingredients in it. Uh, it's absolutely beautiful, but it's based in argan, vitamin E, grape seed, Rosa Damascus, so rose oil, and jojoba. Super simple. It's safe for your skin, for your scalp, for your hair. Uh, because of the Ukraine war,
Mm.
my oil provider, the manufacturer or the lab that created the oils that I used to formulate that product, shut down.
Mm.
So I had to now source from a different provider. Even though my lab is in the US, you know, I'm like, guys, essentials, especially botanicals, it can't all be stateside. There are things that literally we don't have them here. And in order for them to be sustainable, it has to make little to no impact to the environment. So I choose my partners incredibly wisely. And then you don't even consider war.
Yeah.
War can shut your whole shit down. So right now, what I have on hand of the rose oil is it's it until I find a new essentials provider who can get me the
Quality.
basically the rose, this one ingredient, because it was perfection. The
Perfect.
rose that reformulated and I gave you some, it's
Yeah.
so much stronger.
Yeah.
And
And you know me, I'm a scent person where I'm like, what?
so am I, and also rose is extremely polarizing. I was
Yeah.
so proud of it being a really mild rose oil that
Mhm.
men, women, non-binary, gender non-conforming people did not ever make an issue with it being rose. And
Yeah.
so many times I do like pop-ups. People would say, I don't like rose, but this is actually really nice because
Yes.
rose is so polarizing. It reminds a lot of people of their grandmother's bathroom
Oh
or their
God.
grandma's.
Rose water. Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah.
And right.
Oh,
I love
so
that.
the second thing is the El Jardín. That
Oh, yeah.
that's just like,
I love it. Yeah. Luckily, like we're Gucci there.
oh, it's so good. It's
Oh,
so good.
it
But I just
is.
say that I love that you're taking up all the space that you should.
I'm trying. I'm trying. Um, yeah. I really I want more than anything. I love doing hair uh so much more than makeup. I just love it because I'm more of a sculptor than a painter. And I think people that are combos lean towards one. I actually started as a makeup artist and then kept getting asked to do hair. So I was like, fine, I'm going to do it. I'm third generation, by the way, which means my, Kim knows this, but for you lovely listeners, my mother was a hairdresser. Her mother was a hairdresser. So I grew up with all that stuff around me. But because my mom is white presenting Puerto Rican, and I'm a black girl. She didn't know how to do my hair or my sister's hair. And that's what sort of drove me towards hair because I was teased so much about my hair. And
Yeah.
any curly haired person knows exactly what I'm talking about. It's
Absolutely.
hard out here in these streets for curly hair. Like,
Yep.
it's so now things are so YouTube.
Right in our
These kids and
life.
YouTube, I just wanna kiss them all. There are YouTubers that I follow that I'm like, I hope you make so much money because what they give away for free, the information if
Yeah.
there's anything I don't know how to do still, I will go to YouTube and teach it to myself. You know me, I love to learn. So, YouTube is so bomb. I would have
Great,
saved
but then there's also a
thousands.
lot of information that is just like, what do
No, I
you
know, but obviously, I'm seasoned
yes,
enough to know, like, what's good,
what
what's not.
you
But,
to
like,
you.
still, imagine if I was like, how I grew up and I had YouTube, child, I'd be, like, straight up rich right now. I would.
Love that.
I didn't have
We had
any of
pink
it.
oil. We had pink oil
Oh my god.
and shea.
I might have cancer from pink oil. Like, I drowned my hair
They
in
still
pink
make
oil.
that.
I
They
know,
still
it's actually fire. because it weighs down the cuticle. But, there's a lot of stuff in it. It's okay as long as you really clarify your hair after using
I
this.
can't take the smell of it anymore. As a child, I loved it.
Oh my God, me too.
Not in brown gel.
Still love brown
Brown
gel.
gel.
Love it. And then my crusty edges.
Oh my, yeah, yeah.
Also edges, like we didn't even, it came from the 90s allegedly, but we never went off on edges the way that these kids have now.
Oh my God.
And people
Yeah.
ask me to do it all the time because I make wigs and
No,
customize
no.
wigs, and I say no. I'm sorry, I'm not that stylist, but I'll give you a list of amazing ones that will lace those edges for you because
Yeah.
it's not me. Like adults don't have baby hair. I'm sorry. And like when we do, it's very little, but no, I'm
Okay.
talking about the like bang edges.
I know what you're talking about, but I this is something from childhood. My
That's
hairline,
you've always had.
my eyebrows.
Yeah, yeah.
So I have a lot of baby hair. So as an adult, I have to. And sometimes I like it fuzzy and sometimes but no, I'm not making like swirls.
But that's what I mean is like, and the thing is, I love it on certain people. It looks so cool,
Yeah.
but it's just like everything, moderation, and there just
Yeah.
isn't moderation with regard to beauty. People just go so hard. As a rule, I'm like, I don't do it unless it's for an editorial and specific to like design. Just not my swag, and
That's okay. Like that.
yeah.
People
I'm like, how many
creating
hairstyles can you
color.
braid? So I'm like, please sit down. I don't have to do everything every Black girl does. I'm still Black. It doesn't make me any less Black. Okay. People will throw N-words at me all day. Okay. My taste is my taste. I like my fuzzy ass hairline. I just do.
Yeah. What keeps you going now? What
Keeps me going now?
here?
Impending
Hair?
oldness. No. What keeps me going now?
Like what's the internal dialogue? Because we all have one.
Eeh. Internal dialogue. I mean, I have ADD, y'all. It's like really scary. My internal dialogue. I can't sit still. No, I just really love learning. So what keeps me going is that, starting this company, I've given myself obviously 75 jobs, but a way to learn so many things all the time. And yeah, I think that keeps me going. Also, just coming from a sort of lower income family, and my dad, who, is from Panama, which was like third world when he was growing up, and he lived in shanty houses. Like, what drives me is the idea that I am doing something that he would never have thought possible. I'm gonna get emotional. Anytime I mention my dad, I get choked because I just love that man so much. I know he's such a sweetie, and you know this, he loves you to death. That really fuels me is like them seeing that coming to this country, that really sky is the limit, and that I'm gonna keep pushing to show them that. And like every vacation I send them on, every bill I take care of, everything that I can do for them, knowing that like the reason why I can do for them is because they took a risk to come here and struggle bus, like a hardcore struggle bus. Yeah, that's what drives me because it could always be worse. There were times my dad didn't have shoes. So when I'm like, that's not enough a day, I'm like, ooh, if I told Winston this, he would punch me right in my face and say, take that job, queen. So
I don't think he would.
I know.
He came here to give you that.
But you know what I mean? I really love that, like where I come from. And I use that as my driving force because I realize that all of this is a dream. All of this is a dream. I remember so clearly, and I'm not religious, but I would pray, and praying whatever. It wasn't like to anyone, but I guess it's manifesting before that became like a hot term. I would say I really want for doing hair and makeup to be my only job. I really, really want people to want to have me back. And I really want to be a key someday, just make my living on doing this. And it's been going on for for so long now. And it's not lost on me. It isn't lost on me. I know I'm still lucky. My luck comes with incredibly resilience and hard work, but it's still, they could pick somebody else and they pick me. And it is, it just makes me so happy and so proud that uh, a high school dropout, because I dropped out of our awesome high school. And for those of you, Kim and I went to high school together. We went to LaGuardia High School for the Performing Arts. And I met her on the first day. Exactly. I met her on the first day, fell in love with her, and I kept her ass ever since. And dropping out of high school, I had such a hard time during those years because of what was going on in my life. When you make a choice like that, as a precocious kid who was really smart and always got good grades, it feels like you'll never be able to pick yourself up from your first failure. I think a lot of people are hung up on whatever that first failure was. It's really hard for us to get over. And I think dropping out of high school for me was that first failure. And now it's something that I feel very comfortable telling people. I don't feel shame anymore. Finally, I don't feel shame because I have educated myself so much and I am living proof that one bad decision does not define you.
See, but I want to break that down. That bad decision, as I'm putting in air quotes, the decisions that we make, the failures that I'm putting in air quotes, are not, my coach was just saying this. You look at things as neutral. We are the ones that give said situations that happen.
Right, that energy.
Right. That energy.
Right.
So I love the fact that you're releasing that judgment that you placed on it.
Right.
And society also places.
Yeah.
I'm not saying you, but
Yeah.
you're the one who has the power to push away societal's ideas.
Right.
And for you to be able to look at that and say, I let this go, because I don't know if you believe in this or not, but the universe presented that opportunity of leaving school to put you on the path that is your life. So to look back on that pivotal moment allowed you to apply yourself 10 times more of whatever you were trying to prove, or whatever the case that happened in your life.
Picking up what you're putting down.
It's not so when we look at that failure, it's just another opportunity to do something else. To me,
failure, that word doesn't bother me. And also, again, I think that's just because of where I am in my life, and understanding that failure is a part of the process. You learn more in failure than you do in success. You just do. So for me, it's not a harmful word, but I acknowledge that was how I felt that situation was. And I love to use that example when I'm mentoring young survivors to say that don't let whatever misstep you have made, don't live in the shadow of a misstep. It's just one decision and you can make a million more to improve your life.
It's a step in the journey.
It's a step. It is a step. One way or another, it's a step in the direction of wherever your life is going. And I don't believe in a master plan or anything, but I do believe in you mastering whatever that plan's going to be. In control of what you want your life to be. And for me, money is not the motivator. Travel is.
Yeah.
I love to see the world. That's my main jam, and need money to do that. So I just want to make enough and have enough so that I can do that and learn more about other cultures and create things that aren't killing the earth.
Oh my God. We have to talk more again because
Yeah, I would
also
love to.
about that too, like just in sustainability and also like
Yeah, I could talk all day about that. Yeah, it's tough.
young people's space and beauty and how that's changing. Oh, there's so much more we can talk about. But on a and on a light note,
On a light note.
no, not right. So rapid fire questions because I always love
Oh,
this.
yay. Yes, let's do it.
Favorite hair care, skincare ingredient?
Coconut oil.
Ooh, okay. What's your ultimate icon? Who's your ultimate icon?
There's 2, but I'm like, okay, let's
Give me 2. That's fine.
Iman Diana Ross.
Ooh, okay. Favorite lipstick color and brand?
Ruby
I-
Woo.
I knew it. I knew it.
Like forever and ever.
Place you want to retire to?
Portugal.
Ooh, okay. Top 5 rap songs. Top 5.
Top 5. Give me the loot. Sorry, guys. I grew up in the trap. Top 5 rap songs. Okay, so definitely Give Me the Loot. You Ain't Got Nothing, Lil Wayne. Shit, that's hard. Throw some D's on it. Juicy J, Dance and Make Her Dance. And then number 5, Can I Kick It? Tribe.
All right. Okay. I wrote 4 top 3 just in case you were struggling because I know it's really hard. I've never really.
It's like not my favorite kind of music. So
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
sure there's way more, but like it depends on the year.
know.
Like,
Exactly.
this was 10 years ago, I would have a different list. 'Cause I
Both
listen
us.
so much more rap. Yeah. Whoa. Oh yeah, Biggie and Bone Thugs. Notorious Thugs.
Play
Wait a
that.
minute, take one back. We Them Boys has to sorry, We Them Boys, because even though I love you, like we gotta take that back.
All right. What's your last meal?
I had delicious meat. Wait, would it be
No.
my last meal for life?
Yes.
Oh,
You're on death row. Your last meal, not what did you eat last?
my last meal. Okay, this is. I mean, if I'm just gonna keep it 100, it'd be between 2 things that are absolutely terrible for you.
I think.
Uh,
I think
Pizza.
I was gonna say.
You dang bitch love some cheese.
I love.
And then the other thing would be disco fries. Which for those of you who don't know what a disco fry is, it's French fries with melted mozzarella and brown gravy on top.
Do you know how to explain that to
It's
somebody?
okay.
They had no idea what that was.
No. A lot of people, it's a
Yeah.
regional thing. They're like, oh, like poutine. I'm like, no, poutine is curds. This is just like, they call them disco fries because it's how you soaked up all the alcohol from the club. And
I thought it was because it's
get them out of diner, which were 24 hours.
I thought it was a party in your mouth.
No, but I think it is.
That's what I thought. I think I would have said that to you drunk at a diner. Like, why do they call these disco fries?
That sounds right. Oh my God, that's so funny because like filet mignon with like potato puree and like lunch. I love l'entrecôte, but like let's be honest, I'd be like, can I get a pizza?
Mine would either be pizza from Carmine or lobster. Like I love lobster and butter. Like I wanted.
It's delicious, but I fuck with crab so much more now than lobster. Ever since Sol de Mer closed, yeah, crab is my jam. I just could eat pounds of it.
Last question.
Last question.
It's a big one.
Oh.
Am I your favorite human?
Bitch, you already know.
You
already know. Me and Kim used to drive around and sing for hours. Like the amount of time that like we could spend filling the air with nonsense, you guys would not even believe. And also, she was one of my first and only friends that we could just not talk, and that was okay too. Yeah, definitely like my favorite human that isn't my husband.
I know. I was gonna be like, Joe.
If Jasmine hears this, she gonna come and cut you. Jazz, I love you. She just said human. She didn't say relative. Exactly. She was my ace mom since what? 90.
I better get my last meal ready because she's gonna come for me.
What? Well, Okay, so yours would be pizza or lobster.
Probably.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
Or
sounds right.
tacos. Or tacos.
Doesn't want a taco, but I'm like, listen, I'm just trying to like make it quick. Like what's gonna hit simply. And pizza is
True.
always gonna hit. Bad
Pizza.
pizza's good. Let's be honest. Like bad pizza's
Not
good.
true. No.
All
Have you
all
been to
pizza.
Mystic Pizza? No offense, Mystic Pizza. You are not pizza.
But
From the movie in Mystic, Connecticut, trash.
oh, sorry, Mystic.
Not my fault you're serving cardboard with
Oh
cheese.
man. Next episode. And we are sponsored by Mix. Go get yourself a slice. We promise it
It's
doesn't taste like
delicious.
cardboard.
You're going for the ambiance, not the pizza. I will give them one thing. They had this like hard, like crispy meatball that was decent. But the pizza?
Well, that didn't seem like you were giving them anything. You're hilarious. Thank you for having me.
Oh my God, my absolute pleasure. I love you, boo.
Love you too.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.